Hello again, dear diary. Another story. This is about the electricity that the elderly and social pensioners resident at Mezwalach Memorial, bequeathed exclusively for the elderly, pay the highest electricity rate that there is. The LIFELINE rate at 169.12 cents per kilowatt hour, because Communicare, the service provider, decided that Power Measurement should manage the meter boxes in their entirety. Communicare say they make no money out of this. Power Measurement say they make no money out of this. What is the truth? And why is it that we pay the highest rate at 1.6.12 cents per kilowatt hour? I'll take you on a little walkabout around the complex. 2 people live in a 1-bedroomed flat, therefore using double the amount of electricity. 1 person lives in a bedsitter. Some tenants are so poor that they cook one big meal, which they then break up into 7. They only cook once a week. There are some very, very needy, poor tenants who are so frugal with electricity that they might live on maybe 20, 30 units a month. Some tenants work away from Mezwalach Memorial, thereby using minimal electricity. Selective tenants who use the hall, Lucy, Lorraine, Cheryl, Hazel, Tertia, Colin, to name but a few, use electricity in the kitchen, in the toilets. I didn't photograph the toilets. I was afraid we might get one that looks quite like this one. They use the urn, the kettle, the stove, the fridge, the freezer, the hot water. They take heaters into the hall for their games. When they use the library to play games in winter, they take the heater into the library as well. As we walk around the complex, you see lights all over the complex, excessively. Kathy has the hairdresser. Even though electricity might be paid to a meter, the quantity compounds with the overall amount of electricity which it appears that Mezwalach is using. Pat runs a business which uses sewing machines, knitting machines, running for hours every day, forms part of the compounded mass which it appears the tenants are using. The current maintenance person has an office, uses a kettle, uses lights, maybe he uses a heater. The previous maintenance person used to run a 6-bar oil heater literally 24 hours a day, and a fridge and a kettle. During the summer months, the irrigation would run for a half an hour every morning and every evening to water the entire massive property. 2 pedestrian gates are used constantly. The main gate opens and closes electrically all day, not just for tenants, for visitors as well, at the tenant's cost. And then the clever Communicare, for security reasons, though we hear another story, put electrical fencing all the way around the property. And on fencing that's so rusted that even an old person can kick it down. Who is paying for that electricity? So that again is compounded on the total amount of electricity which the social pensioners are paying for. So, we the SASSA pensioner are paying collectively for electricity, for the irrigation, 2 people living in a 1-bedroom flat, selective tenants using the kitchen and the hall, the maintenance person's room, Pat's sewing and knitting business, Kathy's hairdressing business, the gates that open and close, letting mainly visitors in and out, all the practical and impractical outside lights, and of course the electrical fencing, which actually is of no use because in the past people have climbed over that as well. The board members of Community Care earn hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million or 2 million rand a year, yet they will make SASSA pensioners carry their expenses and carry each other's expenses. Zerelda Stain is probably turning in her grave, embarrassed, ashamed, probably even angry. Sis on you to bully the elderly in this manner. And what are you and your staff known for saying if people complain? You can always find another place. You can always move out, you know.